Bhante.
Good evening. Yes.
Um, Good evening, everyone. Okay. Everyone, please rise as Sister Billing will help to light the candle on behalf.
Suranga, can you give me the host?
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Silent. Can you hear us, Bhante?
Yes, just moment.
Bhante,
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you, but I think I'm still not the host.
Oh,
Uh, yeah, please give me the host privilege. Yes. I don't think so.
Check कल बोला ना
How is it?
Are you
Still the same.
Matrang how to the host to be pen no.
Okay. Suranga, harian then I will start it. Yeah.
please be seated.
Markota Khanda. Ah, yeah, I'm the host now. Yeah, good. Yes, Sister, please. Did somebody light the candle?
Yes, we have.
Okay, please.
Done.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay. So good evening, Bhante, and good evening, everyone. Today will be a virtual class with Bhante. As Bhante is currently in Philippines, right? Okay, so today is class 62 of the Sutta class. The topic shared in the group, right?
I stay.
Okay.
Okay.
So
So just a quick sharing. Sorry, I have to talk to you. It's just so weird.
Yeah, a little bit, but they can see you as well. Yes.
Yeah, you have
Yes.
to see my back. Sorry, if any of you new here, no, okay. Otherwise, you can join our WhatsApp group. You can get a QR code at the table, and just a reminder to mark your attendance before the class. So let me do a brief
introduction on Bhante's biodata. Sorry, I have to turn around.
Yeah, please. I think you can just stay to the side. Yeah, covering the two mics, the Rode mic and this one. Yeah.
Okay. It's okay. Just turn you. Okay. So Bhante Dr. Chandima is an associate editor of the Journal of International Buddhist Studies at the Buddhist Research Institute of MCU University in Thailand. He was formerly a research fellow at the Center for Studies in Religion and Society, CSRS, of the University of Victoria, Canada. Bhante's most recent article, The Function and Contemporary Role of Sikha Pachakana, Abandoning the Training Rules in the Pali Canon, was published in the Journal of Buddhist Ethics under the Pennsylvania State University Press, USA. Bhante's work can be accessed at patisota.blogspot.com. Patisota blog was ranked 58 globally in the 100 best Buddhist blogs and websites for 2024 by Feedspot. So Bhante, with much respect, I now invite Bhante to conduct the class.
A very good evening, Dhamma friends. I'm seeing you after probably a couple of weeks. And today we are going to have our final review. Review is always final sometimes. Before we get started, shall we pay respect to the Buddha? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Today, as I said earlier, we are going to discuss, actually do a review about all of the previous Dhajagga Suttas discussions which we had. So please save your questions to ask today. That is more important rather than going over everything. You may have lots of questions about how we discuss this sutta. Remember the background of this sutta. What led the Buddha to talk about this sutta? What led the Buddha to explain this sutta to some monks? And then during the sutta, how he explained how to overcome fear, negativity, frustration, and all these things. And what did he ask us to think about, reflect upon in the first place, in the second place, in the third place, right? So this is how the sutta has been flowing. But today, actually, we can look at a couple of stanzas that we can see at the end of the sutta. With that, I invite you to make questions about this topic. The topic is how to overcome fear, stress, frustration, negativity with the Dhajagga Suttas content. So this is the basic topic. So keep your questions. In the meantime, I'm going to go to the last couple of stanzas. Actually, these stanzas are saying a summary of what the Buddha said in the first, and the second, and third place in the sutta. Let's take a look. Okay, so last sutta discussion focus about the what you call the last qualities of the sangha. If you can remember, we discussed Supatipanno, the first quality of the sangha members, then Ujupatipanno, the second, then Nyaya Paripanno was the third, Samija Paripanno was the fourth, then Ahuneyo, Pahuneyo, Dakineyo, Anjali Karaniyo, and then we finish this part with Anuttaran Punyakirta Lokasat. And then after that, we discuss that Sanghang hivo bhikkhave anusaratang yang bhavisati. Someone who is contemplating on the nine great qualities of the Sangha members can easily overcome any fear. Chambitatta means terror. Romahansa means any skin erection. I would say skin hair erection. That person can overcome by contemplating on the nine great qualities. So it does not mean that you only merely chant the sutta. Our usual habit is whenever we are feared, we are chanting. That is good, at least it's something that you do. But the ways and means how this is going to help you is that you are going to understand the context of these nine great qualities. That is how you are going to overcome your fear and all that. Now, say for instance, you normally think about the Buddha, Itiviso Bhagavarahansam. Sometimes you never know what these Pali words are talking about. You just merely chant it as I think not even chanting. You make it to a mantra. It's not a chanting in some people's voices. It's a mantra to them. But still you might get a certain I would say relief during the time. But at the end of that particular time, you may feel that you don't know what they are all about. So what we discuss here was that in the first place, you need to not even chant, but also understand the context of these nine Buddha's great qualities. Then the Buddha is asking us to think about, follow a certain methodology. The methodology is even after contemplating the nine great qualities of the Buddha, still you are going to go through certain fears, certain horripilation, certain stress, negativity. I think most of people, they are going through these situations every day on a daily basis. So why not contemplate on these aspects? Why not? I think every time when you are getting stressed out and feared for something, you might be looking at the worst part of the situation, probably why this person is giving me a hard time. Maybe why is this happening to me? You are getting more stress. Why not bringing Buddha's nine great qualities with a certain understanding into that moment? See the transformation. See the change. This change is a real-time change, not a promise a monk will give you in a Dhamma talk. Do it, this will happen to you. Not that kind of a promise. You will feel it, real-time change. Whenever you are feared for something that you cannot figure out, you are going to contemplate on why the Buddha is Arahant, why the Buddha is Samma Sambuddha, why the Buddha is Vijjacharana Sampan, why the Buddha is Lokavidu, so on and so forth. But still you are feared, then go and pick up this Dhamma's six great qualities. Why the Dhamma is Swakatu, why the Dhamma is Akadiku, so on and so forth. Even you're still going through problems, then why not picking up the Sangha's great qualities? Why the Sangha members are Supatipanna, Ujjapatipanna, Nyayapatipanna, Samijapatipanna? Why they are Ahuni? Why? Yeah? Not that they are Ahuni. People might think they are Ahuni, but why they are Ahuni? Why they are Pahuni? Not that they are Pahuni. Normally you know that they are Supatipanno, they are Samijapatipanna. You make a question, why they are Supatipanna? Why they are Samija Paripanna? Then that why question will bring you to the contextual. Right? So this is what we discussed that day. So you always have a certain, what do you call, a roadmap to your fearless state of mind. It's a roadmap. The first is you're going to think about Buddha's qualities in case they don't work. That means it's not the Buddha's problem, it's our problem. We might have to uh, contextualize about the Dhamma. Then sometimes even that might not work for some people, 100% fully. Then you're going to pick up Sangha's great qualities. Because each one's fears are coming from different conditions. You take two people, they have a problem with uh, with regard to a certain thing, maybe going to a dental clinic. Two people have two types of fears. I'm asking why you are feared about dental. I don't know. I mean, pulling out of my tooth by different doctors had given me certain goosebumps. Right. Sometimes if the doctor is too inexperienced, so might pull out my tooth so badly. Sometimes it's not the doctor. It's about something is going to happen to you. So the fear is different because of the conditions. So then the problem here is that how are these two people going to use 24 uh, triple gem qualities, Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha? So they may differently get benefited with these great qualities. So that's why I'm saying that don't think that we are same in terms of our fears and our stress and our things, but we all have different solutions to our own uh, these issues, emotional, mental issues. So definitely we should be blessed by contemplating on uh, either Buddha or Dhamma or Sangha. Let's take a look at the last couple of stanzas that we are going to look at. Okay. Now here where we ended up was if by contemplating about the Dhamma, then Buddha and Dhamma, then you are gonna think about Sangha. Sangha members, nine great qualities, why they are Supatipanna, why they are Ujjapatipanna, why they are Nyaya Patipanna, why they are Samija Patipanna, why they are Ahuniyo, Pahuniyo, Dakiniyo, Anjalikaramiyo, Anuttaram Punyaketano. So that your all these issues should go away. As a promise made by the Buddha. Now we are moving on. Tam kissa hetu. Now the Buddha is saying the reason why this kind of roadmap to fearless state or overcoming the fear should work. Tathagato Bhikkari, he's taking his nine great qualities in the first place. Tathagato means another very interesting name for the Buddha, the one who has attained the honorable truths, Nibbana, without the help of anybody. So Buddha is Araham Samma Sambuddha. And he is free from raga. Vita means free. He's free from dosa. He's free from more. Vita, the Pali word Vita is very interesting. Vita means free. Free from raga, free from dosa, free from. And Abhiru is fearless already. And at the same time, he cannot be terrorized. Achambi. Chambi means terrorized, but he cannot be terrorized by anybody. And Anutrasi, he's not uh, he's not getting what you call scared or anything. At the same time, he is not running away or anything. He's more to embracing the situation. Actually, you take a very secular example in your life. Whenever you are very scared, forget about that. You know the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, or anything from Buddhism. What would normally come to your mind whenever you are so scared? Forget about that. You are a Buddhist or you follow the Buddhist teaching. Normally, somebody in your life who is more to uh, be bold, more to be very what do you call fearless in his or her own way will come to your mind because you are not expecting anybody who is easily getting scared. That means you want someone to think about who has some kind of boldness, some kind of fearlessness, right? Otherwise, you and that person will be in the same boat, right? So that is something interesting that we have to think about, right? It's like that you are going to see a doctor for your borderline diabetes. And then the doctor is saying that doctor is recommending a certain form of medication and saying that I'm also using this medication, you take it. Two ways to look at it, ripple effect. One thing is if the doctor is saying that this is working, it must be working. On the other hand, doctor has been a victim of the diabetes as well. But you are looking at somebody who is really careful about his or her sugar taking, someone who can really manage the body, someone who is really making an extra effort about how to manage what you call food habits, drink habits. So that person can be mostly coming to your mind because I want to be this kind of a person because you might think that I have so many bad, unhealthy habits in terms of food and other things. So, normally, what I'm saying to you is that whenever you are in stress, if you are looking for some help, naturally, somebody who is uh, having less fear compared to you in terms of whatever that particular field will pop up in your mind. Not the one who is struggling more than you. So now the idea here is that the Buddha is saying why you must have been helped out by thinking about me is because I am free from raga. Raga means lust. I am free from aversion and I am free from delusion. I'm free from them. Are we free from these three? How much are we free from these three? That is a question that you have to ask in the morning. Don't make the day very bad, maybe at the end of the day. It's fine. How much am I free from raga, dosa, and more? At least, am I able to manage my raga? Don't think about becoming free from raga. At least, can I manage my raga? Can I manage my anger? Don't talk about I want to overcome my anger. Can I manage my anger? Can I stay with metta when I really want? But some people, they really want to stay with metta, but they cannot. They don't know how to manage it. So here, the benefiting part happens because the Buddha is free from all these three. Whereas the early example, Sakha, Pajapati, Varuna, Isana, they are not free from these three. They are full of raga. They are full of aversion, delusion. They are full of delusion. So then they can. There's no surprise that they cannot help other deva in the battlefield because they also have the same issues. All right, and then we are continuing. Idam vocha bhagava. This one said this way. Idam vatvan sugato ataparang etadavocha santa. Idam vatvan, having said this. Sugato is another Pali word that we understand the Buddha. I would call it as an appellation, or maybe another quality that we know. Araham Samma Sambuddho Vijjhajana Sampanno Sugato. Sugato is here. So another appellation. Ata Parang Etad. Then, now this is something very interesting. You can see these stanzas, 15, show you, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay. Now, there's something interesting that you all need to understand. At the end of most of the suttas, after Buddha gave the, what do you call, the talk in prose, then he wanted to make it a verse. Why is it? Versification is more memorable. Now, when you learn something in a versification, in a verse, in a stanza mode, that is more memorable, that is more, what do you call, that is more to something that you can memorize. That's why a long time ago, I think probably 16, 17 years ago, I heard one monk was asking a question from a Dhamma school students and tell me the Noble Eightfold Path. by memory. Everybody was shocked. And then there was one girl is saying, Disa waka awa sasa. Everybody was like shocked. What is this? Disa waka awa sasa. They were thinking, what are you talking? And this girl memorized the first letter of each noble path factor. Di, Ditti, Sa, Sankappa. Then Va, Vacha, Ka, Kamant, A, Ajiva, Va, Vayam, Sa, Sati, and the others are Samadhi. Because then she was telling there's a problem because you may catch up different noble path factors at different points, so you don't understand. Samadhi, then somebody will talk about Samma Ajiva. Where is the order? Actually, Buddha discussed the Noble Eightfold Path in order. Without Samma Ditti, don't talk about Samma Sankappa. Without Samma Sankappa, don't talk about Samma Vacha. The connection is only when you have the right view, then only you will have the right thoughts. Right thoughts will not come without the right view. Now think about the Samma Sati. Many people go for meditation retreats. Samma Sati. Samma Sati. Where is it? It is the seventh noble path factor. Samasati means satipatthans, practice of satipatthans. Mindfulness based on the body, kayanupassana. Mindfulness based on the feelings, vedananupassana. Mindfulness based on the thoughts, chittanupassana. Mindfulness based on the mental properties. So Dhamma properties, we call it Dhammanupassana. Now, there is someone who overlooks the previous six, directly want to jump into the satipatthans, right mindfulness. This is going to work? It might not work. It's not going to work because there are many suttas, Buddha says that these are interconnected. You cannot start it by scratch. You have to start it from the beginning. Why is it? Say, for instance, there is somebody who has no purification of the attitude, perspective, sit down and want to meditate. Metta, whatever the meditation. But that person cannot meditate. Why is it? Can meditate, but you will see that person will not see a progress in the meditation in the long run. Why is it? He or she had not started meditation from its prerequisites, sammaditi, samma sankappa. This is what you call a gradual way. So in the same way, we need to understand that all these are interconnected. Now here, Buddha had a tradition when he used a Dhamma talk in certain most sentences. At the end, he mostly also recaps in some stanzas so people understand. Okay, so this is what we are seeing now here. Same idea, but we'll see that. Aranye rukha muleva sunyagareva bhikkhavu anusareta sanbuddhang bhayang tumha kanosi. I think a lot of sentences have been recapped in 4 lines. Very interesting. Right? Aranye means forest. Okay? Rukha muli. Mula means foot of what? Tree. Rukha mula. Whether someone is in the forest or at the foot of a tree or sunya, empty, agara place, or in a private place. Now, talking this to the monks, but this has to be taken for everybody. If someone is to stay in a forest or at the foot of a tree or in a private place, if that person is to recollect, or I would say contemplate on the Sambuddhang, 9 great qualities of the Buddha, Anusarita, recollect, contemplate, then that person's fears, any type of other negativities that are coming based from the fears, tumha, that person will not have any fear. No siya, no means no, siya, it's the futuristic tense. So it's pretty clear. Buddha says, if someone is recollecting, contemplating on the 9 different contexts of the Buddha, 9 great qualities, context of 9 great qualities of the Buddha, that person will overcome any fear or fear-related mental issues. This is number 15. Then we are going to the next one. This should be about Dhamma at this point. Noche buddhang sarayat, loka jettang narasama. What does it say? Even by sarayat, sarayat or anusarayat, the same thing. Now, when you say anusarayat, this actually means re. Maybe someone is recollecting repeatedly contemplating, not just contemplating. So sarayata, anusarayata, they have 2 meanings. So sarayata means someone only someone only contemplates. But when you say anusarayata, someone is repeatedly contemplating on those things. Right? It doesn't mean a chanting. Tipuso Bhagavarahan Samma Sambuddhu and Bhagavati, Tipuso Bhagavarahan Samma. It's not that kind of a chanting. It's about repeatedly contemplating on the context of 9 great qualities. Why is the Buddha Arahant? Why is the Buddha Samma Sambuddhu? And finishing at what you call Bhagavat. Then why is the Buddha Arahant? So repeated recollection. Now, even after repeated recollection of the Buddha, who is Loka Jettan, this is something interesting. Loka Jettan. Jetta means exquisite, supreme, best. Nara Sabhan, the translation, the bull of men. Someone might think, why? Nara Sabha, Usaba. Why the Buddha is called as a bull? It is said that in the Pali literature, the bull carries a supreme nature of the masculinity, right? Maybe the power. So that's why he said the greatest out of all men in this point, Narasabha. Okay. Even after recollecting about the Buddha with regard to the 9 great qualities, who is the supreme in the world, and then who is the greatest of all men, then at that point, still your fear and all that is going to continue. Then, Atta Dhamman Saraya, at that point, you need to contemplate on the 6 great qualities of the Dhamma. Why? These 6 great qualities are having 2 natures over here. Niyanikam. Niyanikam means they are helping you to understand life and finally become enlightened, awakened. At the same time, they are Sudesita. They were given properly. They were well taught. So it's very clear. Buddha, then Dhamma. Then the same issue continues to the Dhamma. Noche Dhammang Sarayata. Niyanikang Sudesita. Ata Sanghang Sarayata. Punyaketang. Even after by contemplating on the 9 great qualities of the 6 great qualities of the Dhamma, still your fear and all these are going to work, then you are going to think about Sangha members, Sarayata, because they are one of the fields of merits, Punyaketa. Unparalleled, Anuttara Punyaketa. They are one of the unparalleled field of merits. Right? Okay, finally. Evang buddhang sarang dhammang sanghang cha bhikkhu bhayangva chambitatangva lomahansu isati. Now, this is a very clear message to anybody who has fear and all these issues. Buddha is promising that by recollecting about the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, it works differently to different people. You must be able to overcome any of your fears, any of those related issues with regard to the fear. Now, another idea of now that is the end of Dhajagga Sutta. Now, when we get to see this final verse, there's something that can come up in our mind. What is it? That means Buddhists cannot be people who are going to be fearful. That means a real good Buddhist is someone who understands the 9 great qualities of the Buddha, 6 great qualities of the Dhamma, and then 9 great qualities of the Sangha. Thereby, any fear or anything related to the fear should be overcome by that particular Buddhist. But unfortunately, a lot of people who are learning these things, they think these only have to be chanted. These qualities have to be chanted. Right? So that definitely, in the first place, they are chanting things. But in order for you to get out of the fear and all these things, because the fear is also very, what you call structure. What are the levels of fears? Fear of sickness. This is one of the very popular kind of fear. Then what to do with fear with regard to the getting sick? How can we use these 24 great qualities of the triple gem in order to overcome our fears? Can you think about how to do it? Are we going through different sicknesses, different physical, mental sicknesses on a daily basis? We are, right? The only thing is that you don't think about them sometimes. You want to forget them. But sicknesses are happening. Now, after today, the next day that we are going to do our sutta discussion, we are going to start a new sutta. It's about Girimananda. This Girimananda Sutta tells us how to fully recover from even physical and mental sicknesses. And normally you learn only Bojjhangas, but Girimananda Sutta is a clear message to everybody that by understanding the 10 perceptions can heal your health issues. It can work. So now I'm trying to connect this Girimananda Sutta's idea that this is the only sutta where Buddha says only by understanding 10 things you can recover from a sickness. Bojjhanga Sutta, we understand that they are only about 7 enlightenment factors with regard to an enlightened person. You may not be able to fully understand because you are not enlightened. But the Girimananda Sutta, those 10 perceptions, they are more towards everybody. The more you understand them, the more recovering you are. You have to recover. So now we're going back to the Dhajagga Sutta again. In Dhajagga Sutta's, what you call explanation, what we need to finally understand is that our fears can be overcome. Our fears can be truly overcome. Not by only believing in the chanting, but by understanding the contextual meanings of these great qualities. And that is the main message that we have to learn with regard to the Dhajagga Sutta. You may see many other suttas where Buddha talks about fear. Now, go back to the Mangala Sutta. How did the Buddha talk about fear in the Mangala Sutta? Can you remember? Is there any wording about fear in the Mangala Sutta? How does Mangala Sutta finish? Anybody who can remember? Puttassa loka dhammehi chittang yasana kampati asokang virajang kemang etam mangalam. Somewhere last stand just before it's gonna finish. What does it say? Now think about the bigger blessings in our life, the greater blessings, not the normal one, chanting blessings. Yeah, they're important too, but bigger ones, greater blessings in our life. Now, with regard to the greater blessings in our life, in order for us to achieve greater blessings, we need to approach this level. What is the level? Puttassa loka dhammi. Now we are, what do you call, affected by 8 worldly conditions on a daily basis. Puttassa loka dhamma means, what do you call, things that shake us on a daily basis. Things are changing, people are changing, profits are going down, sometimes profits are going up, people are complimenting us, on the next day people might be putting us down. We don't know, right? Criticizing. There is hardly somebody who can manage these worldly conditions, 8 worldly conditions. So when anybody is going to be affected by these 8 worldly conditions, puttasa means affected. Then chittang yasana kampa. If someone's mind or thoughts are not comforting, not shaken, someone today compliments you, and then on the next day, maybe another day, this person bad mouths about. What's the problem? Actually, there's no problem. The problem is how you evaluated the 2 experiences, the nature of the 2 experiences. Normally, when someone compliments somebody, that person shrugs off and then feel like, I'm passing. I'm the best out of everybody. And then when the same person is going to criticize to the person who was complimented, he's very down. What happened to me? I'm so good. Why this happened to me? And then I feel very down at that point. But the person who understands the greater blessing, who want to approach, who want to embrace the greater blessings, things, no, these are worldly conditions. Yes, I have done well, but this is also part of the worldly condition. So in terms of the worldly condition, Buddha asked me to practice upekha, this even mind, equanimity, the balanced mind. I should not elevate myself too high. That's why we normally say, how do we say that? When we are achieving well in our life, always look at it with some patience. When you are complimented, when you are going well, when you are promoted, when you see different miracles happening in your life, always try to embrace those states of mind with some amount of patience. Success has to be handled with patience. Sometimes when people become successful after a long time, they have no patience, They don't know where they are going at that point. At the same time, suffering, if you feel that you are suffering or you are going through pain, that also has to be channeled and managed with some amount of patience. Don't think about very hardcore high-end Dhamma. Buddha said, Noble Eightfold Path is the thing that I have to practice now. The first thing is patience. Because we understand the patience is the root kusala. So here the Buddha says, Puttassaloka dhammihi chittang yasanakam. Yeah. The first blessing here in this stanza is that when someone who is affected by one of the 8 worldly conditions, but his or her mind he is or she is trying to manage, not getting victimized by any of these eight conditions. That is a blessing. No monk can give you that. No meditation retreat can give you that. It is you. You have to make it. Sometimes you only look for the outside blessings. Hey, give me blessings, Give me lots of blessings. Yes, it's okay, no problem. But the problem is why your blessings are not becoming increase. Why you are not totally embracing the full area of the blessing? Because that part cannot be given to you by anybody. You yourself have to make it. So whenever you create a thought, mindset that I'm not going to be affected by any of these things, they will affect me in a way, but I am not creating any influence onto those things. Then that is a blessing. Now we are picking up the fearless part. Puttassa loka dhammihi chittang yassana kampati. Then asokam. This is also a blessing. Asokam means, perhaps I might write down here for those who might not understand. Asokam. This one. Asokam means Pali word in the Mangala Sutta. Asok. What does Asoka mean? Now we can find out Soka. Soka means grief, grieving, grief. Asoka means Asoka means absence of grief. Because the state of mind that people are tapping into after any frustration, stress is grief, GRIF. So any moment that you are going through the opposite of grief is a blessing. Right? Then the problem is we have so many reasons to be grieving compared to the reasons to make us to be happy, right? It's like this kind of example phenomenon. There are so many ways we can die. There are very less ways we can keep our living going. We have to be very careful, right? We can die in a moment of time compared to the probable situations. So we can be grieving about somebody's death, changes. We can find out so many reasons to be in grief, but you can find less conditions to be in the absence of the grief. Why is it? It is a blessing that you are creating. Nobody can create you. Nobody can create that. It is you who is going to create this greater blessing as well. Asoka. Then Virajam. That's also an interesting Pali word. Virajam. Virajam. Virajam means, what does Raja mean? Raja? Raja. Not Roja. Raja. This can become a Roja at a certain point if you don't understand. Raja means taint, Taint. I know when your clothes are become tainted, have stains, you want to wash it properly with so much strong detergents. But here Raja means tainted, defiled. Then the absence of being defiled is a blessing. Can anybody make you into this blessing? They can advise you, but you are the one who is creating that blessing also. Absence of defilements. Is it very challenging or very easy to go to this state of mind? Is it very easy to become absent from the defilements? Or is it very easy to become present with the defilements? It's very easy to become defiled. Why is it? Any moment that we are not bringing mindfulness, metta, karuna, mudita, upekka will be a moment of defilement. Think about these angry people, always becoming angry, grumpy, annoyed, irritated. Sometimes they know out of Dhamma as well. very bombastic sometimes. But what do you think about their state of mind? They know it as a knowledge, but when it comes to reality, that that understanding, even not understand, that knowledge has not materialized in his or her mindset. So Dhamma has to be materialized in a way, the Dhamma knowledge. Otherwise, you learn, it become a head Dhamma, it won't go to the materialization. You will become a very bombastic person with Dhamma. It's very funny, right? You can become that bombastic by knowing the news, social media. But what if someone is bombastic just with uh, lots of Dhamma knowledge? So, Viraja means if you are creating any moment in your daily life without some sort of defilement, that is a blessing. That is the point where you make it, where you say, I have the peace of mind. At that point, I have the peace of mind. You can think about, relate to any situation in your life, right? But sometimes it is not the defilements come to us. We are creating opportunities for defilements to come to us and then victimize us. Aren't we? We are, right? They are very harmless, innocent defilements, but we are creating opportunities for them to come and attack us. What about that? You are going to bother someone who is very innocent. You are going to create a problem with that person just because you want to say what you want to say. Sometimes I always say this in many talks, retreats, that don't pick up everything what people talk in your household. Don't pick up a lot of things that are happening outside work. Because when you're going to pick up and you're going to interpret, more problems are coming to you. Sometimes these words were given by them without thinking too much, without properly wise thinking. So if you can create uh, the moments where you are absent from any defilement, that is a higher blessing. Viraja. Puttassa loka dhammehi chittang yasana kampati, one blessing, higher blessing. Then asoka means absence of grief, also blessing, higher blessing. Then viraja means absence of defilement. Now we are coming down to the important, interesting part in the discussion, connecting Dhajagga Sutta. Khemang is the Pali word for that. Khem. Here, khemang. Asokang virajang khemang. Khemang. What is khemang? This is the polar opposite of fear in Buddhism. Now, the interesting thing is that this, if you look at Mangala Sutta, take a look at the Mangala Sutta. I want to double check that for concluding. Okay. If you look at the 38th blessing, the last blessing in the Mangala Sutta, starting with what is the first blessing in the Mangala Sutta? Asevanacha balanang. Not in the company with the, who are those people that we have to stay away. Yeah. Don't call them fools. We have to be civilized a little bit. So let's call them unwise people. So staying away from unwise people. We don't want to call anybody foolish. People are different. Sometimes the foolish person can become a wise person in a moment of time, and wise person can become a foolish person next moment. It's kind of fluctuating. So the idea here is unwise people. Let's call them unwise people and wise people. Staying away from unwise people. How to do this? Is it possible to do that? When we know a lot of people in the society, how to do it? Sometimes we know this person is such a very utter unwise person, you know, bad mouthing all the time, gossiping all the time. Even they are trying to mess up our life also. What to do with these people? Are we going to excommunicate these people? Are we going to run away when they are coming to us? No, because on one side we are trying to stay away from them, on the other side we must not expire from our metta practice, loving kindness practice. In the loving kindness practice, everybody is important to us. Right? It's important. But we are trying to keep a distance. I know you are bad mouthing. I don't want you. That's because that's going to tarnish me. But I cannot like put you aside. Maybe set you aside because my metta has to go everywhere. Tittang, charang, nisin, nova, saya, nova, everywhere, Asambadang, averang, aspattam. So the first blessing in the Mangala Sutta is staying away from unwise people, but still doing the metta for them. Number one. Then last one, 38. What's the last one? Last blessing. Kema. This one, the one I just drawn here. Kema. What is Kema? Kema means fearlessness. The moment you are fearless, the moment you are enjoying the highest blessing in your life. Think about it. That is the moment that you are getting the highest blessing in the Dhamma, the moment where you are fearless. That's why some people say, when I talk to that person, I feel very secure. I feel so happy. I feel I'm so safe in my life. Even with regard to Dhamma, also people say, when I look at the Buddha, I feel very safe. But when I recall certain experiences in my life, I feel like I was so traumatized. I feel I had a lot of problems, bad experiences. So this security, which uh, finally leads to fearlessness, is very important. That means the highest blessing in Buddhism, according to Mangala Sutta, is Kema. Kema means fearlessness, like an oasis, fearlessness. Now the problem is how to become fearless. That is the very argument in the Dhajagga Sutta. I think that is up to you. You may ask questions today. How to become fearless. Now today you know a very interesting way by today that we have to overcome fear through recollecting the contextual meanings of the Buddha Dhamma Sangha. But that is the demosed way, the highest way to do it. But there are other ways to manage our fear and transform us. You can think about those situations too. Sometimes most of the fears that are happening to us are irrational. Irrational means they have no point. But you give the meaning to them. It's like a mother who is trying to terrify a baby. There's somebody who is coming and get you. So you have to eat well. Otherwise the person will come and get you. And then the baby will think still this person will come anytime to get me if I don't eat, as per my mom's advice. That is the way how they are doing. But if you are going to give an unnecessary meaning to unnecessary things, that will hold you back. At that point, even by thinking about the Buddha Dhamma Sangha might not help you because it's about the lack of clarity about the phenomenon. I think we need more clarity about our life. Not too much like in Abhidhamma, Abhidhamma talks very, very high-ending stuff. We don't have to sometimes. We learn the very important ones in Abhidhamma, but not too much. Abhidhamma is a place where we want to pick up certain important things. Not that we are going to get into the whole Abhidhamma and then get messed up. The suttas are enough. Early suttas, we go to Abhidhamma to pick up certain important teachings. That's how we're going to do that because Sutta came first and Abhidhamma came as a development of the certain Sutta teachings. So then how to get this clarity? I think if we get clarity, that is one of the best ways to overcome fears in our life. That's a very interesting thing in Buddhism. Now, even this Vipassana, what is Vipassana? Seeing things as they are. But what many people are going through, seeing things as We are. Every time you are seeing things as we are, that gives you a certain horrible, horrific, diluted, a distorted version of the truth. And that nature will give us so many goosebumps and then butterflies and problems every day. So, uh, even though you are going to recollect the contemplation of the Buddha Dhamma Sangha, uh, another way on the side is to understand more about what is happening to you, the clarity of the situation. When there are people who are coming to us and asking, I have a problem in my life, I want to withdraw myself from the situation. I said, okay, but you don't do it all the time, it will come back to you. You need to understand what's going on. The more you understand, the more fearless you are going to be. So clarity is very important. How to get to the clarity is being able to create a certain ability to clarify yourself, clarify your intentions, clarify your emotions. Sometimes you are not clarifying enough. What are the problems you are going through when you are not clarifying your intentions in a family, in a relationship? Other people always get to misunderstanding, right? Then you have to say that I have to tell you again and again, and you don't know me for many years. You don't know, though you are with me for many years, right? So clarification is very important. So the more you clarify the situation in the proper, objective way, that will give you a lot of energy, a lot of support to understand how to become fearless. All right. I think with that, I certainly believe that you may have a lot of questions today because the last day about the Dhajagga Sutta. So making time for you. Please, we will go to the Q&A session now at this point. Please raise your questions over here. Depending on the situation, I will pick up on certain other things. So when you have a question, please come up to the mic that Brother Suranga is now handling at this point, and then ask the question.
Bhante, good evening. Can you hear me? Bhante, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Bhante, what is your comment? Before we actually so-called recollect on the great quality of the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, it means that we first of all have to recognize the problem first. Then the second step, right? We accept the problem. Then we depersonalize that this problem is not me, and we investigate on how to solve it. Then we only contemplate on the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. And last, we say this is anicca. It's not permanent. And last, we let go. So I mean the contemplate on the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. Means it's not on the first step, is it? Thank you, Bhante.
Yeah, this is a very interesting question. Um, what I can say to that is, now if you look at the what you call Dhajagga Sutta, Dhajagga Sutta is trying to more focus on the affective part of the fear. What does it mean by affective part or effective part? This part, for you. So, it affective part of the fear. Now, let's say fear is here, and then the solution part is what I just discussed just now. Solution part. So, what does it mean by the affective part? Now, the moment that someone is becoming fearful, now when the Buddha is talking that the things that are coming as indications of the fear through the body, they are more towards the feeling part. Okay, so I think these Buddha Dhamma Sangha contemplations are working in two ways in this fear experience. One is at the beginning when they are giving you a hard time. Let's say now you are getting very stressed out, fear. At that point, you are taking it because you don't want to pressurize yourself. You don't want to panic yourself. But still, you haven't found out the solution for the problem, aren't you? Solution is there's no solution because you have a big problem in your life. You are only getting scared. You are never finding solution for that. Yes, that part has to be done. But before that, I have to calm myself. I had to feel that someone is with me and Buddha is with me, Dhamma is with me, Sangha is with me. That makes me just to calm myself, to understand what's going on. So that's how we are looking at this Buddha Dhamma Sangha. Overcoming fear at that point means overcoming the affective part of the fear. Does it make sense? Overcoming the affective, or I would say the sensational part of the fear will be overcome at the point of contemplating Buddha or Dhamma or Sangha. But then you have to solve the problem. How to solve the problem as a Buddhist? Every problem has a short answer and a long answer. Every problem. That thing you have to figure out slowly. With that calming down, you are probably you are getting the support from somebody, maybe a spiritual teacher, counselor, psychiatric, whoever. Or you don't need anybody. It's a small problem. You do by yourself, right? So you are figuring out that problem and what is the short-term answer for this problem, and what is the long-term answer. Now, still there is a problem. Can I make it happen? Am I strong enough to do it? Then again, contemplation of the Buddha Dhamma Sangha again help you to go through that time until you figure out the short-term answer and the long-term answer. Does it make sense? And then now you are successfully executing this process. The affective, sensational part of the fear, and then the solution part of the fear. How to get rid of my fear. Then you are becoming, with that short term and the long term answers, you are becoming clear, and you are going to make the progress out of the issue. Even at that point, you are thinking, okay, in order for me to do this, I have the help of the Buddha. It's like someone who is coming to a temple to get the exam blessings. Right? Now there are so many students, teenagers, and grad uni students come to temples, and then the monks are going to do a very long chanting, probably. Say, we chant this XYZ Sutta, and at the end, they are going to, sprinkle water, give a nice splash on everybody, and then feels, oh, yeah, I'm so blessed. And then sometimes they tie the string. Suppose there is a student who has not prepared anything for the exam, not even looked at the textbooks. Now coming like a free thinker, because he or she thinks that the good stuff will come to his or her mind during the exam. This is going to be a very lame task at this point. And coming to the temple, oh, these blessings will help me to catch up with this possible answers. And then going to write the exam. You think that this will help? No. The preparation must be done. So then why are these blessing services are happening for people who are writing exams? Because to give them the emotional, what do you call, security, to give them some support to overcome unnecessary stress during the exam. Sometimes there are many students who know how to write, but they are too panicked, too stressed out, too fearful. In the same way, this Dhajagga Sutta idea to overcome fear comes from a way how you're going to overcome the affective part or sensational part of the fear. But the clarity must be happen after that subsequently. How to make the clarity? Then you have to be on your practice, sammaditi, to clarify your perspective. Then you are going to face anything that is coming as a result of the affective, or I would say the sensational part of the fear in a practical, objective way. That's how it. So I would say this contemplations of the Buddha Dhamma Sangha, depending on how it works at the beginning, during the process of being clear on the short-term, long-term solutions, and even until you make it to the last, what you call the fearless stage. That is how it works. Otherwise, don't take it as a mere, what do you call, chanting that once you chanted, all the problems will be solved and then taken care by somebody, like in other religions. Yeah, any other questions? Time.
Bhante Sukihotu.
To Bhante.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bhante, is
Is
there
there
any
any
shortcut?
Bhante, I think
From the stories that the Buddha explained to the monks, he mentioned that when certain devas who are going to battle, and when you are fearful, you just need to look at the flag. And the flag symbols one of the great devas. The Buddha explained about the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. They are altogether 969, so many virtues. So can we actually use one just to be calm, or could calm down ourselves?
Okay, great. Only this question? Okay, yeah, I'll answer. You are not one of the, we are not only the person here who's looking for something like that. Interesting. Actually, with regard to the Deva story, Devas didn't want to figure out why is the other party is going to clash with them. These Devas don't know why they are clashing with others, because they are managed by one superior Deva. But now we are taking it to our personal fear problem, right? It's not like a battle that is war made by somebody or maybe managed by another person. So when it comes to our personal fear situations, if you think that you cannot contemplate so many great qualities, but I wouldn't say so many, because you have to first look at the 9 great qualities. Let's say you think that you cannot make it to 6, 7. Yeah, at least you know one great quality that is helpful. Even if you know what is arahant, why is the Buddha arahant, it can be helpful. But if you know the rest of the 8, that will be more helpful. So if you want to bypass, take the risk. Risk is at least you are better, but if you know the 9 great qualities in the first place, that can help you more, because then you know the Buddha as a whole, as a complete set. Otherwise, you will be blessed. I'm not saying you are not going to overcome your fears. You will be in a certain way, but by knowing the 9 will help you more, because then uh, say for instance, you think about one great quality, still you have a little bit of fear. Then I think this is because I don't know the rest of the 8 very well. So then you are self-questioning about you. I think I don't know the rest. That's why I still have this problem. But if you are starting out, yes, please, 1 is enough. Because you are a beginner at this point. But if you have more time, if you can make it in the long run, please go for the 9. But if you ask me 24, I don't think 24. Just practice 9 first great qualities of the Buddha. And then if you think that after having these 9 as a contemplation is not going to work for you, then you have to go for the rest. But even as a beginner, contemplating even one great quality can help you. Now, a lot of people, they say that when they meditate, they doze off. But when they say Buddha, 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 it can help them. That means even one great quality has helped them in a way, in different contexts. But according to the Sutta, here, the Dhajagga Sutta, Buddha never says that you only pick one and contemplate. Contemplate as a set of 9, but as a beginner, you may go for one great quality, starting with Arahant. That is also beneficial. There's no harm.
Good evening. Can you hear? No? Good evening, Bhante. Hello.
Hello.
I think
Good
Good
evening.
evening,
yes.
Bhante.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening, Bhante.
Bhante,
My question is that even recollecting the 24 qualities of the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, and you still have fear and anxiety, what does that mean? Or is it something gone wrong?
That's what we just talked about. What did we talk about just now? At the end, we said the affective part of the fear, or the sensational part of the fear, is the only thing that you are going to overcome with these great qualities. But by contemplating these great qualities will never solve the problem. Will never solve the problem, because you have to act out according to the solution. So that's why we need the clarity part. As I said, clarity is important. But in order to tackle the problem, what is the first thing we need? Some kind of tolerance, patience, some kind of calmness. We cannot take it like being very panic, that kind of a nature. So then you need to understand that it is not that Buddha says when you go to the Sangha great qualities, your problem has to go away. But the Buddha says the sensational, affective part of the problem, your fear will go away. That means you are not going to be feared anymore as a feeling, as an affective quality. I mean, you don't feel the fear anymore, but still you know something is not right here. Something with the 24 great qualities. The 24 great qualities are giving you the emotional support for you to handle the problem. Because for most of the people, fear is an affective problem. I would say is an emotional problem. Now say for instance, the Buddha says there is a fear that we all have to take it from a solution perspective. What is it? Sansara bhaya. What is sansara bhaya? Fear to be reborn in the sansara. being reborn in the samsara. So then are we going to have a sort of sensational fear for that? Or we have a certain fear in our mind, but we are not panic about it. But we know it's a fear because if I don't act out on certain things in my practice, this can be a problem one. That kind of fear has not taken us to an affective problem. It is just a fear that we know this can happen, right? But Dhajagga Sutta's explanation is more towards whenever you are struggling with any fear, lot of issues with that fear coming from the sensational part, the feeling part. That part has to be stabilized. That part has to be overcome by contemplating on. First, you don't go to think about all these qualities. How did the Buddha say? Don't go to think about all these qualities. He said, first you catch up with the 9 great qualities, maybe one by one, at least one. Now, the previous gentleman asked me, give me a shortcut. Let's say I tell you, you take Arahant, then what happened? Even by thinking about Arahant, you still have the fear. Then what you are supposed to do? Then go to the Samma Sambuddha. But still you have the fear. Then you go to the Vijjacharana Sampanna. Maybe a little bit okay now. Then you go to Sugatu, but still little fear. Maybe you hit the Bhagava at the end, then your fears may be going away. But for some people, still they are having fear. Then you go pick up Dhamma. That means it is not that everybody should go to recollect these 24. It depends on each person. Even for someone, even by recollecting Araham is enough. Samma Sambuddha Araham is enough. But some people, they have. But 24 great qualities teaching is only for the affective part of the fear, sensational part of the fear, not to overcome the overall aspect of the problem. Because we are getting fear, there's something wrong, right? That something wrong has to be fixed with a certain clarity. That's why, so we have to bring that teaching, what you call 24 great qualities teaching is very important for managing our fear in terms of feeling, sensation, or affective part. But after we are doing that, we need to go into a certain clarity perspective. Say for instance, Vipassana perspective. Then we understand the problem. We are not getting shaken by the problem. We want to do the necessary things for that. So these two have to go in tandem, go together. Not that you think about 24 great qualities, my problems all go on at the end. Then 24 great qualities must be a drug to overcome like that. You temporarily withdraw yourself. It's not like that. It's about you are going to, because when you think about the Buddha, your problems, the affective part should go away because you know you are getting supported. All right, so we can take one more question before we're going to end our discussion today. I think you are muted. Yes.
Person who had
Can you start over? I didn't hear the first part.
okay, good evening, Bhante.
Yes.
My question is that if a person who has overcome Saka Diti, who does not personalize the 5 aggregates, the Panchakanda, then fear should not appear to that person. Is it correct, Bhante? Thank you.
So if you are a Sotapanna, you don't have fears. Right. You are already a Sotapanna person, then you should not have any fears. So that is a very, that means you are nailing it down. You nailing in, what you call, you nip in the bud. You nip in the bud. So that means you have no problem. So people who are still not Sotapannas or even Chula Sotapanna, they still have to go through these things. But We don't have to demonize other people, non-sotapannas who are going through problems. What I can say is that even if you are a non-sotapanna, you can still be happy by understanding the Dhajagga Sutta and also clarity perspective, Vipassana part. Don't have to worry. But if you are already a Sotapanna, you already exceeded, you are exempt from this fear issue. Yeah. So that's how we have to look at it. All right. So with that, today we are going to finish our Dhajagga Sutta's discussion, which we've been having for many weeks. And we are going to pick up Girimananda Sutta from our next days. So as I said earlier, I would introduce Girimananda Sutta in the first place. This is a sutta that can really help you recover. In the same way, don't try to think that only by understanding 10 perceptions will immediately give you the recovery. But most of the health problems we are going through are rooted in how we look at them, how we interpret them. So uh, that part is the most important intersection that the Girimananda Sutta touches. So I think that is why we have to learn it. That means uh, if you learn Girimananda Sutta with its 10 perceptions, you may be able to definitely recover from many mental, emotional, and physical sicknesses. And also, you are going to overcome the reasons, causes that will make you sick. This also talks about karma. How to get rid of karma in a certain way. All right. So, with that reminder for our next sutta discussion, I'm going to wrap this up by transferring good karmas to the departed ones, and then devas, nagas, and angels. Okay, may all the good karmas which we'll be making today by having a summary or review about the Dhajagga Sutta, in which we talk about that this is not something that will solve our problem, but this will help us overcome our emotional part, the affective part of the fear, uh, before, during, and after, which means with the solution. So, on the other hand, we have to similarly, simultaneously, try to understand short-term, long-term answers with regard to objectivity of the problem. That's how we're going to have a very full, inclusive answer to our personal fears. Because the fears that Devas got is a different kind of fear. But when it comes to personal fears, it is different in how we are supposed to handle. So may all the good karmas be transferred to all departed ones. May they be well and happy. May they attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Idam me nyati nang hotu sukita huntu nyatayo. Idam me nyati nang hotu sukita huntu nyatayo. Idam me nyati nang hotu sukita huntu nyatayo. May Deva Naga Mahindika also share all the good karmas we've been making throughout our Dhajagga Sutta discussion, many, many weeks. May all these good karmas be shared by all Deva Naga Mahindika. May they be well and happy. May they, in particular, bless and protect all of us for good health, quality of life, prosperity, and safety. May they also bless our Dhamma journeys. May they finally attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Ittavata cha amhihi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ittavata cha amhihi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ittavata cha amhihi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Akasattha Chagumatta Devanaga Mahindika Punyantang anumoditva chirang rakhang tusasanang akasattha chibumattha devanaga mahindika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakhang tudesanang akasattha chibumattha devanaga mahindika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakhang tumang paranti chirang rakhang tuman sanati. Dhamma wish. At the end of any good karma, be that a meditation retreat, Dhamma talk, or a sutta discussion, or a chanting of Buddha Puja, we continuously wish for us to be surrounded with Kalyana Mittas, those who can guide us, become the light in our Dhamma journey. May we be able to be surrounded with Kalyana Mittas all the way to Nibbana one day. Thinking thus, we're going to make this wish. Imina punya kammena mami bala samagamu satang samagamu hotu yavarimbana patya. Finally, may all the good karmas we've been making today and in the previous weeks about Dhajagga Sutta be supportive and helpful for all of us to attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, Abhivadana silisse nichang baddha prachaino chattaro dhamma baddhanti ayuvanno sukhang balang ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti mevacha ato nibbana sampatti iminati samicchatu sadhu sadhu. Okay, with that blessing, wishing you a good night. I think now it's over to Sister Yang for the conclusion part. Yes.
Thank you, Bhante, for the sharing. Now let us thank Bhante by paying respect to Bhante.
The first bow, second bow, third bow. Sadhu,
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you, everyone.
Once again, thank you, everybody. Good night, everyone. Safe flight back home. See you. Yes.